Hi everyone, and welcome to the Unsolved Society. Today, we'll be covering the unsolved disappearance of Fauna Frey. Fauna was last seen in southern Oregon, and the timeline of events leading up to and following her disappearance continues to baffle her family and law enforcement today. This case involves a suspicious hitchhiker, a large amount of missing silver coins, and the ominous reappearance of some of Fauna's belongings. Let's get started. Before we jump in, I do just want to take a moment and dedicate this video to Fauna Frey and her family. We hope this video will help to spread more awareness about Fauna's case and encourage anyone with new information about her disappearance to please come forward. In 2020, Fauna Frey was a beautiful 45-year-old woman living in Dexter, Oregon, which is located in Lane County. She was close with her brother Dallas and her father John, whom she ran a family business with. She was known by her friends and her family to be hardworking and successful, and had no known mental health or substance abuse issues. On June 19, 2020, 10 days before Fauna's disappearance, Dallas Frey, Fauna's brother, was found deceased in his attached guest house, which was connected to the shared family home. Fauna was the one to discover her brother's body and start CPR. As you can imagine, this weighed heavy on her. She was described as distraught, understandably, over her brother's untimely passing. See, loss and tragedy weren't new for the Frey family. In 2004, Fauna's mother passed away, followed by her younger sister in 2006. So with her brother's passing, the only remaining immediate family members were Fauna and her father John. This brings us to June 27th, 2020, 8 days after Dallas Frey's passing. Fauna, being absolutely devastated, was searching for ways to share the news of her brother's passing while honoring his memory. See, the Frey family wasn't big on technology, often using pay-as-you-go phones and not participating in any social media. So naturally, Fauna wanted to share the news of her brother's passing face-to-face with those who were closest to him. She also wanted to share a few of his personal belongings that he would have wanted passed on. Amongst these possessions was $25,000 in silver coins. To put that in perspective, $25,000 in silver coins would weigh around 55 pounds, making it a substantial haul. These coins are unique, unmarked, and have a buffalo on one side and a Native American head on the other. Fauna would begin the journey from Dexter to Grants Pass, Oregon on June 27th at 10 p.m. She did not bring any extra clothes for herself and had remaining debris from a building project in her car that she still needed to take to the dump. We know that Fauna chose to sleep in her car this night, although it's unknown why. As her first stop the following morning was only 20 or so minutes away from her home in Dexter, many assumed that the grief from her brother's passing had influenced her to make this decision. Her debit card transaction showed that she got gas at the 76 station in Creswell, Oregon at 10:08 a.m. before embarking for Grants Pass. Grants Pass sits in the southern region of Oregon, which is home to approximately 550,000 residents. This area is known for whitewater rafting, scenic wineries, and marijuana farms. There's also a high rate of drug abuse and homelessness. But Fauna was familiar with the area. She had lived in Grants Pass on and off her entire life, making her more comfortable to visit alone. She had planned to visit a few of Dallas's friends while she was in the area, the first located in Wolf Creek. We know she stopped at the Wolf Creek General Store and had got his dog some chicken strips. For this friend, they were still warm by the time Fauna arrived at 11:45 a.m. During this visit, she gave Dallas's friend about $7,000 in silver coins, leaving her with about $18,000 worth remaining. According to that friend, Fauna stayed about 30 minutes at his house. During this time, he gave her an address for another friend of Dallas's, located off of a road called Onion Mountain Road. He showed her a couple of other addresses for other friends, but she didn't ask him to write them down. Fauna's movements from approximately 12:15 p.m. to 7:04 p.m. on June 28, 2020 are somewhat unknown. We know at some point Fauna picked up a female hitchhiker somewhere around Wilderville Cemetery. Per Dallas's friend, the first one that she went and visited, it said that she picked up the hitchhiker at Wonder General Store while possibly getting some refreshments. meaning this may not have been the typical hitchhiker situation that you think of, the person standing on the side of the road with their thumb out. And in a later phone call with her father, Fauna would say that the hitchhiker reminded her of someone that she used to know, and talked about the people that we come across in life being like angels. Per this hitchhiker, Fauna took Fish Hatchery Road to drop her off at Cheney Creek Road. Law enforcement has interviewed this hitchhiker and cleared her of any involvement. According to friends and family of Fauna, it's incredibly difficult to get any type of legible information from this hitchhiker. She's a frequent flyer at the county jail, and much of what she says is just ramblings. The next verified location of Fauna would be at 7:04 p.m. at a gas station in Cave Junction, Oregon. This is about 30 minutes or so away from where she dropped the hitchhiker off on Cheney Creek Road. So like I said, it's really unknown what Fauna did in this period from 12:15 p.m. to 7:04 p.m., but there are theories. One possible theory is that she went to go find her brother's second friend with the address that the first friend had given her. She would have realized that this person no longer lived at the address that she was given and had possibly relocated to Cave Junction. Is that why she headed in this direction? Another theory is that Fauna visited Fish Hatchery Road Park at this time. We know that Fauna visited, but when she put the park fee envelope inside of the receptacle, she had written an incorrect date of June 26th on that envelope, which is a day before she even left her home in Dexter, Oregon. This receptacle was not emptied until June 29th at 6:30 p.m. After Fauna got gas in Cave Junction at 7:04 p.m., she drove to the Super 8 Hotel in Grants Pass, where surveillance showed her checking in at 7:45 p.m. After getting to her room, she called her dad John, where she mentioned picking up the hitchhiker and not liking the hotel she was staying in. And she told him she wanted to stay in Grants Pass for a few days. Her dad describes her as distraught during this conversation and remembers suggesting that she find a cabin to stay in where she could be more comfortable during her time there. Their conversation would last about 20 minutes. Next, at 8:26 p.m., Fauna was seen on surveillance footage at Fred Meyer. It's a nearby grocery store that also sells clothing, etc., and it's located about 8 minutes or so away from the Super 8 hotel that she was staying at. She spent $138.28 on items like toiletries, activewear, a sandwich, potato chips, and 2 cans of beer. After her shopping trip at Fred Meyer, it has been confirmed by hotel staff that Fauna did arrive back to her hotel room that evening of the 28th. On the morning of June 29th, Fauna was seen leaving her hotel room at the Super 8 at 8:35 a.m. She was next seen on bank surveillance at 9:44 a.m., making a withdrawal of $200 at Umpqua Bank in the neighboring small town of Rogue River. Some people think this is odd because Grants Pass has 2 Umpqua Bank branches, but this could have just been Fauna wanting to take the scenic route along the nearby Rogue River. This location was just an extra 2 minutes drive compared to the others. Next, at 12:39 p.m., she was captured on video cameras making a purchase at Big 5 Sporting Goods in Grants Pass for $250.77. The items included a 3-pack of mini flashlights, a small lantern, capris, tennis shoes, and a sports bra. There's also been speculation that Fauna may have given the cashier one of the silver coins she was traveling with. Others think that it could have been for a bag deposit fee. At 2:39 p.m., Fauna called the We Ask You Inn in Grants Pass. She spoke to a clerk and made a reservation for that night. The clerk let her know that check-in would be at 3 p.m. that day. Then, at 3:39 p.m., an hour after she made that reservation at We Ask You Inn, Fauna was last seen at Gooseberries in Grants Pass, a natural food store just 11 minutes away from that We Ask You Inn. According to debit card records, she spent $56.61. Items included 10 packs of tuna, 3 cans of coffee, and 1 smoothie. This is the last known activity of Fauna. She never checked in for her reservation at the We Ask You Inn, and there's been no bank activity since. Her father John reported her missing on July 1st, 2020. Almost 2 months after Fauna was last seen, A man driving in the area of Reuben Mountain Road found her dark blue Jeep Cherokee Laredo down a hidden spur off of a remote logging road. Her father John found out about the discovery through a scanner page on Facebook. When he contacted Sheriff Dave Daniel of Josephine County, he told him that he thought she was, quote unquote, eaten by bears because there was bear droppings near her car. While this area does have a lot of bear activity, they're only skittish black bears, making this very unlikely. Instead of processing her vehicle where it was found, law enforcement had it towed to an impound lot. It was put on the bottom of the list to be processed due to, quote unquote, no evidence of foul play. While we don't know the entire contents of what was found in Fauna's Jeep, law enforcement still has not released that information. We do know a few things. She had a Lion King VHS tape that was sentimental to her. She had a few pieces of clothing, a pair of shoes. There was also a map of the Rogue River, but it was for the other side of the freeway, so not where her Jeep was found. There was also a box of unopened, dark brown hair dye found in Fauna's car. This brings us back to the silver coins. No silver coins were ever found. These silver coins, the remaining, would have weighed around 40 pounds, making it unlikely that Fauna would have taken them on a hike, for example. New information was released by the Frey family that a couple walking near their home on Fish Hatchery Road reported that they had actually seen Fauna sitting in the passenger seat of a white BMW pulling out of a driveway. The driver was described as a dark-haired male with a dark beard. According to residents of this neighborhood, the home that Fauna was last seen at, pulling out of the driveway, was known for being dopers, quote unquote, with possible ties to a local motorcycle gang. According to her dad John, over the next few months after Fauna was seen there, the property had been resold twice. The new property owners contacted John after they made a startling discovery. A saddlebag that had been converted to a purse with Fauna's name stamped on it was found tied to a steel carport post on their property. This was jarring. The once junk-filled property had been completely cleared, leaving only Fauna's bag behind. When asked about the discovery, John described it as a possible message. Coincidentally, it was also revealed that the hitchhiker that Fauna had picked up also had ties to the people that lived in this house previously. Though it's believed there was probably nothing more than just an acquaintance, if that, and was most likely a friend of a friend relationship. This does make sense, as the hitchhiker was known to frequent the area. So let's talk about possible theories. Many theorize that the hitchhiker could have been convinced to lure Fauna somewhere. A nice woman traveling alone with valuable silver coins to rob her, possibly. Some speculate that Fauna could have left on her own accord. Others think that it's possible she went hiking and met foul play. But these are just a few of the alleged theories being tossed around. What we do know is that Fauna and those silver coins are still missing to this day. And Fauna's friends and family, including her father John, are desperate to find her. So what's the status of Fauna's case today? Sheriff Dave Daniels from Josephine County has reported his biggest frustration with the investigation to be the lack of resources needed to follow leads. Understandably, John Frey has expressed his frustration with the lack of progress made by law enforcement. He and many others have gone to great lengths to find his daughter and bring her home. John is offering a reward of up to $100,000 for Fauna's safe return. If you have any information on the whereabouts of Fauna Frey, please call the anonymous tip line at 541-359-5638 or email findfaunafrey@gmail.com. Thank you to all the sources of this video, and a special thank you to the friends and family of Fauna for their contribution. We hope Fauna is found and reunited with her friends and her family who so desperately want her home. If you want to see more videos like this one, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. You can also turn on notifications if that's your thing. I'll see you solvers in the next video. Bye.